If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
The Coach Adam Fossett Show this morning, presented by the B.B. Comer Booster Club. And Coach Fossett, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I don't know how you kind of digest this week as far as the weather is concerned and practice, and then looking ahead to one of the top teams in 2A, that is Lynette, and boy, they're some kind of football team.
Yeah, no doubt. Lynette is, somebody else asked me about, the difference between Chillsburg and Lynette. Chillsburg is at the front end of a new coach and establishing who they are and things like that. And then you have Lynette, who is well established, 1A state champs. They've been consistent over a long period of time. They play out of region. I was talking to their coach the other day. Out of region, they play very tough teams. They're coming off a loss to Valley in overtime. Valley is a 6A school. They beat Valley the previous 2 years. They beat Valley. Valley was still 6A and they were 1A, and they had beaten Valley 2 years prior to that. So they play tough competition. They made a run last year and won the state championship. The quarterback Christian Story, who's Coach Story's oldest son, he's at Alabama now. Mm-hmm. So that tells you the caliber athlete that he was. He's on Nick Saban's roster now. So Saban only recruits top quality athletes. So, but he's got a younger brother that's there, and they're very athletic. It's one of those things where we've got to move on from the Chillsburg win. That's over with, and now we've got to look ahead to Lynette. So this week there's been some challenges with practice and the weather. We've been dodging rain and everything else. So, but it's about overcoming adversity. Tuesday we had a big downpour. We finished practice out Tuesday on the practice field and check on it Wednesday, and it's a mud pit. So practice yesterday was in the parking lot. We weren't out there hitting each other and going full pads, full speed, but it was more of a mental day, covering all our special teams, covering all our formations and sets and things like that. So it gave our guys a chance to get their legs back under them a little bit more and get ready for Friday. So
does that adjust? I don't know, Wednesday's usually the heaviest day of the week. Does that adjust from yesterday to today, or is it still going to be a light day today?
It'll still be a light day today. We'll still do our regular Thursday practice, which we'll run through. We have a play the game script that we go through. So we'll start off with kickoff or kickoff return, whichever one we start off. If we start off with kickoff return, then we go offense first, and so we play the game basically on Thursday and cover everything, cover every scenario that we can, and kind of go through that. So it doesn't change that up. Usually when weeks like this hit, you want it to be later in the season because you are more seasoned and you've got some more game experience under your belt. But after the week and with everything else that is going on, we're truly blessed to be able to be lining up and playing on Friday. So there's a lot of teams in the state that haven't played a game yet, and we're getting ready to line up and play our second game. So we're not taking that for granted, and we're going to be as prepared and healthy as we can be going into Friday. And last week we had a couple guys go down. It wasn't so much of an injury issue as it was a cramping issue. Mm-hmm. And we felt like, to be honest, we felt like we were going to have more cramps than we did. And but the cramps that we had, like one of my big linemen went down, and I went out there, and his calf was hard as a rock. I could not. I tried to rub it out a little bit. I'm like, man, this thing's killing me. So getting it kind of rubbed out enough so he could stand up, but that kind of stuck with him the rest of the night. He was limited the rest of the night because the cramp was so bad. So, between the humidity and not knowing the weather and stuff like that, and it all goes back to, I think I've said a bunch of times about everything, but it goes back to no spring ball, limited summer action, and things like that. Yeah.
So, not only is Lynette a fast, physical football team, but that venue is a tough place to play.
Yeah, tough place to play. The crowd really gets involved, and they love their team down there. So big key is to not give them any momentum, not give up big plays, not give up big yardage and things like that. So the key. And talking to our coaches, I was telling them the key to this game is the first 5 minutes of the game. The first 5 minutes are important. If we can get the ball and establish a drive, or if they get the ball and we can get them 3 and out to punt, and build a belief that we can play with them. I tell our kids all the time, I'm gonna be very upfront and honest with you. I'm not trying to scare you, but I want to be honest with you. This team is good. Mm-hmm. This team is better than the team you played last week, and that's not a knock on Chillsburg. That's just the truth. If Lynette and Chillsburg played, Lynette would beat them. Yeah. Try to be very honest with them and upfront with them, and also not scare them. So there's a happy medium there. I'm not trying to scare you, but I am trying to tell you you're going to face some really good athletes. You're going to face a couple of kids that have Division I offers. And it's a measuring stick is what it is. Because we have guys that are, they have a defensive end that has Division I offers. I have a 9th grade offensive tackle that's pretty dang good, and Chris Wilson. This is a measuring stick for you. Mm-hmm. This is what it's like to go against a D1 talent. This is what it's like. How do you measure up to that? So it's going to be I think it's going to be a great challenge for us. I think that our game plan is solid. It comes down to execution. Comes down to executing that game plan. But you never know when the lights come on Friday, and you're dealing with kids 14 to 17 years old. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. B.B. Comer last year, and the first year you made the playoffs in a long time, mm-hmm. and you played with a lot of good football teams in that region. But big plays really was a backbreaker for B.B. Comer last year. You can't give up that against Lynette.
Right, no doubt. Big plays, especially on special teams. The wheels fell off in the Piedmont game right away last year. Opening kickoff goes back for 7. So you can't allow that. You can't allow the big plays to happen. And there's some, one good thing about Lynette offensively is there's some telltale signs about what they're doing, and they've got some they've got some things that they kind of tip their hat to, which help us out. So if those tendencies stay the same, I feel good about our coverages and our scheme there. But again, it goes down to making the play. It goes down to wrapping up and making the tackle and doing what you're supposed to do. Giving up, we got so many teams last year in 3rd and long, and then we gave up a first down, and that's that kills you. That mentally that kills you, because you're like, man, we're gonna get the ball back right here. We're gonna be okay. We can get the ball back and score. We're down 2, we're down 3, whatever the case may be, and then we got a ball game. So, but when we give that big play up, it kind of takes the wind out of everybody's sails, and then we're 1st and 10. Here we go.
You have another great running back over at B.B. Comer, mm-hmm. and he's a multifaceted guy. Mm-hmm. He went under center after Carmichael was hurt, and he brings a lot to the table.
Yeah, Rafael Johnson, I was very impressed. I was more so impressed with how he handled himself at quarterback last week than him running the mm-hmm. ball. I knew he had the capabilities of running and getting yards and doing the things that we needed to do as a running back, and I knew he would be solid at quarterback. Him and Rafael and James Carmichael split snaps as our backup quarterback, and Rafael had the better week of practice, so he went in first and handled the snaps well.
That's kind of how you look at things. Yeah. Whoever is doing the job plays.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. It's whoever has a better week of practice, mm-hmm. you're going to be the one that plays, and he had the better week of practice. He made some great reads on plays, and knew when to keep and knew when to give. And anytime you can rack up, I think it was 363 rushing yards total. Rafael had over 100. Rafael almost had 200, but he did. He had the 90-yard run, and then Chris Garrett had over 100 yards. Rafael had 17 carries. Chris Garrett had 14 carries. So
that's kind of what you want.
Right. That's what you want. And you don't think about that because when Coach Watts, my offense coordinator, did the stat line, I never thought they were close in comparison to carries. I thought, all night I thought, man, Rafael's out there a lot. And then, we got to get Chris in. Well, it's almost even. It's almost equal, and that's what you want. You want, and there are two different types of backs, and that's what they bring to the table is, Rafael's gonna dodge and try and get out of the way and elude you. If you're standing there, Chris Garrett's gonna try and run over you. So they both provide some energy and electricity to our offense. And I thought our offensive line played well last week, and that's the key. Finally seeing offensive linemen going forward. And this has been 3 years in the process to see, hey, your first step is forward, and your second step and your third step is forward. We're not going to stand there and stand in the way. We're going to drive people off the ball.
All right, 7 o'clock kick. Lynette hosting B.B. Comer Friday night, and I think that's in the Eastern time zone. So it'll be 6 o'clock their time. Is that right, or 8 o'clock?
It'll be 8 o'clock.
Okay.
8 o'clock Eastern, and so they're doing tickets on GoFan. I've had some parents ask me about this, so let me clarify that. GoFan.com, or there's a GoFan app. You have to go online and buy the tickets. And you have to specify home or away. And when you specify your side, it says 8 o'clock kickoff. That is a Eastern time. So it's still 7 o'clock Central. It's still the same kickoff time for us. But once you get up 85 a little bit and get close to that Georgia border, Lynette's in Eastern time. So
not only is Coach Fossett the head football coach, he's the athletic director, and that brings me to volleyball this morning. Your volleyball team's up and going.
Yeah, volleyball's doing well. Amidst everything that's going on, we were still able to have 3 teams. So volleyball, there's a junior high, a JV, and a varsity team. All 3 teams are playing well and doing well. Varsity hasn't gotten in the area play yet. That'll start next week. But Katie Etheridge is our volleyball coach. This is her second year. She's a 6th grade teacher. She's our varsity volleyball coach. But she's a 6th grade teacher, played at Judson College, and the girls are playing well. They look good in what they're doing, and a lot of organization there. So I see things on the up and up. Our junior high teams are playing well, and our JV teams are doing well. So we really have a good little feeder program there, and kind of like with football, we have 5 seniors. Volleyball has 1 senior. So they're a young team.
That's a good trend.
Yeah, they're a young team.
Yeah.
And they can. There's big things out there for them this year. So we'll find out. Like I said, area play starts next week with Horseshoe Bend, and hopefully they can start getting some area wins and gaining some confidence in what they're doing.
Before we go this morning, maybe you're watching it this morning and you're an alumnus of B.B. Comer or a supporter of B.B. Comer. Maybe you're a business person. And we would like to encourage you to be supportive of the Tigers. We got a couple more slots left for the pregame meal feeding, right?
Yes. So I did put a post out on social media through Facebook, and it's spread all over the place. I've gotten a few emails and stuff like that. But we are trying to feed our varsity guys every week. And the way we feed them, I feed them from the same place because I'm very particular about what they eat and where it's from and stuff like that. So there's no food prep involved on your end. But anyone that is interested, we're looking for a donation of $450 to go to the program. We'll designate a game that you will sponsor the pregame meal for. I know some of a couple churches have volunteered, and you guys are welcome to come in through the FCA and do a pregame devotion on that day with the youth pastor or the pastor. Our doors are open to that. Businesses, alumni, I've had quite a few people reach out to me. I've had people that own businesses that are not even Comer alumni reach out and say, "Hey, I'm putting a check in the mail to buy your pregame meal. I like what's going on there and the program that you're building." So,
how can they get that to you?
The best thing is to write the check to B.B. Comer High School. You would send that to 801 Seminole Avenue. In the memo, you would just put, in the memo on the check, just put football pregame meal. and then you would put on the address, just put it to attention Coach Fossett or attention Adam Fossett, and it'll be put in my mailbox. I'll receipt it, and then we will definitely let you know that it's been received. So we would appreciate any support that we can get with that, and it helps us out a ton.
Good luck tomorrow night against the Panthers.
Thank you, sir.
Lynette and B.B. Comer, 7 o'clock Central Time kickoff tomorrow night in Lynette over in East Alabama. More Daybreak coming up right after this.